Okay, dear students, today we'll start new chapter, that is synthetic fibers and plastics. Synthetic fibers and plastics. See, already in 7th standard and 6th standard, we have already done fiber. First of all, we need to understand what is fiber. Basically, a fiber is a very thin strand, a very thin strand which is having quite large length, but its thickness is quite less, very much less. In fibers in 6th and 7th standard, we studied about natural fibers. Those are wool, silk, and jute, cotton. So a fiber is very thin strand, or you can say thread like strand, which is very much having the length is very much large and its thickness is very much negligible. Very important, in any textile industry, it is the smallest unit. Fiber is the smallest unit. All the things begin from fiber in textile industry. Fibers are basically flexible. Fibers are basically flexible. Very important. What we do is that we take fibers. Again, I am telling you what is fiber. It is smallest unit in the textile industry. It is very much flexible and it is very much lengthy, and its cross sectional area you will find very much small. Most important, what we do is that when many fibers are combined and twisted, it is converted into yarn, which we call as thread. Or if you generally want to know what is a thread, just untwist it. Go opposite to the its twisted rounds, and when you will see, if this is a thread, if you will untwist it, you will get many small fibers. Okay? Fiber, when you twist it, it will convert into yarn, and by the process of knitting and weaving, we convert it into fabric, or which we generally say cloth. So what is a fiber? It is a very lengthy thin material which is having very small or very negligible cross sectional area. It is used in textile industries. Okay. In 6th and 7th standard, we studied about natural fibers. Very important. What basic thing we need to go through in this chapter is, first let us understand synthetic fibers. These are man-made fibers made in factories, and chemicals are being used to make this. These are also known as artificial fibers. Artificial fibers. See, synthetic fibers, they are also fibers, very lengthy and small, used in textile industry, but they are man-made. We don't get it from nature, and they are having chemicals in there. So in synthetic fiber, we need to study all this. We will be studying rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic. These four synthetic fibers we need to study. All are prepared in factories. Very important, in all these, rayon is only and only such a synthetic fiber in which we use natural material. Very important. Only and only this one is a synthetic fiber in which we use natural material. It means rayon is semi-synthetic, means 50% from nature and 50% from factories. And all these are fully synthetic fiber or fully prepared in industries. Got it, dear students? Synthetic fibers prepared in factories, these are man-made. All these categories we need to study, that is rayon, nylon, polyester and acrylic. Very important, in polyester there are 2 to 3 categories we need to study. one is PET, one is Terylene. These all we need to study. Okay. Now what are plastics? Again, let me explain you. We are not only using chemicals, to prepare fibers. We are also using chemicals to directly get a fabricated thing, means to get long sheets. So what are plastics? These are also synthetic material. Synthetic fibers, see, synthetic fibers are, synthetic means prepared in factories. Plastics are also synthetic material prepared in factories. In this chapter, basically what our concept is to understand the synthetic material, what things are prepared in factories, and if these are fibers prepared in factories, so these we need to study. And plastics are also synthetic material, but it doesn't mean that plastic we will be using in a fiber form. It's not compulsory. We can use it in any form. ठीक है. So synthetic, this is also synthetic material. In plastics we need to study polythene, the most common plastic which we are using in our daily life. We need to study PVC, polyvinyl chloride. We need to study about bakelite, melamine. These are plastics we need to study about. Dear students, very important, when we will be studying about all these plastics, we will be categorizing them into two categories. One is thermoplastic, don't worry, we'll read about that, and one is thermosetting. Plastics are of two categories, thermoplastic and thermosetting. So now we will start one by one our synthetic fibers. Okay. Synthetic fibers, we need to study four main synthetic fibers. First one is rayon, second one is nylon, then is polyester, and then is acrylic. See dear students, very important, we need to go through all the things one by one. Okay, and this is a very simple chapter but quite new to you, so no need to hesitate, don't worry, one by one we will be understanding each and every concept. See, what does this synthetic fiber or synthetic material mean? Before we start anything, when rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic, or we go to synthetic material, that is plastic, first we need to understand how this synthetic fiber or synthetic material is made. See, you might have seen a small circle connected to one more small circle, iron circles, one more iron circle, one more iron circle, one more iron circle. Or you might have seen one rubber band, another rubber band, third rubber band, fourth rubber band. What we see, they slowly make a chain. What they do is they make a chain. All the synthetic fibers, all the synthetic material is prepared in the same way, whether it is fiber or whether it is material. What is that? They are chemicals, as you already been informed. These are chemicals. These are prepared in factories. See my dear students, basically chemicals are very small. Means their atomic size or that chemical compound which of these are made up of are very small. We cannot even see them. So the thing is that if we cannot even see them, how can they form so long chains or so long things? The thing is that a single chemical, another chemical compound, third chemical compound, fourth chemical compound. They all are same, don't worry. And when they all are joined, what we get is a chain like structure, or we get a long fiber. Again, I am letting you know, if I am telling you that in this glass there is water, actually the formula of water is H2O. In one single drop of water, there are about 10 raised to the power 21 water molecules. That is, if I will write 20 zeros, I have not written, but I am just telling you, so many water molecules make a single drop of water. See, what happens in synthetic fibers is that first you need to understand the concept of synthetic fiber and plastic, whether it is synthetic fiber or whether it is plastic. Both are synthetic material. Both are synthetic material and both are polymers. Very important. Synthetic material, polymer, both are same. As of now in 8th standard, you just need to understand all the synthetic fibers and all the plastics are polymers. See, this polymer basically gives us hint what they are made up of. Let me tell you, poly means many. Poly means many. Mers means units. Let me explain. If there is a single chemical, same chemical I put here, same chemical I put here, same chemical I put here, then I put here, then one more, and if I join them, what you can see, we can get or we are getting a long chain. Yes or no? This is only how fibers are made. What is the process of making a fiber? Any single chemical connected to another chemical, connected to other chemical, connected to other chemical, we get a fiber. Okay, this is only polymer. What does polymer means? See, in further studying, we will be getting words like polyester, we will be getting words like polyamide, we will be getting PET, that is polyethylene terephthalate. These all are polymers. All the fibers and plastics, all are polymers. What does it mean is that these are prepared by repeating units. What are polymers? Polymers are long chains or long sheets. And how they are made? They are made by combining repeating units. Got it? Yes or no? Obviously, our so huge body is not only a single thing. Many organs, and those organs are made by tissues and many small cells. In my body, originally trillions of trillion cells are there. Those trillions of trillion cells are making my complete body. In our school, lakhs of bricks are used. Lakhs of bricks has been combined to create a single wall. Yes or no? So similarly, chemicals are combined one by one. They are combined so as to prepare fiber and plastic. That's why they are known as polymers. Polymers means to combine many units. Okay. All the synthetic fibers and plastics are polymers. See, now we'll start our topic synthetic fibers. Then we will be doing synthetic material, that is plastic. All the synthetic fiber and plastic, each and everything is polymer. What is polymer? All of them are made up of repeating units. So okay, now we'll start our first synthetic fiber, that is rayon. Actually, silk is a natural fiber which is one of the costliest natural fiber. Silk, we get silk sarees. Silk sarees are most costliest. 16,000, 20,000. They are not less than 10,000. Pure silk material will not get less than 10,000. So actually silk we get from silkworm, and its rearing, that is sericulture, is quite a time consuming task. So what was demand in the market, that if we get a silk like material and that is very much cheap and very much durable, so it would be quite helpful. So rayon, this one is only and only synthetic fiber which is 50% natural and 50% chemical. 50-50. All these are 100% chemicals. So what we do in rayon is, in plants cellulose is present. We have already done what is cellulose in 7th standard. In plants cellulose is present. What is that? These plant or wood is put into a basic, or we can say alkaline solution. We have already done NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide. We have done it in acid basis chapter in 7th standard. What they do is that in a container they put water, they add sodium hydroxide, and they cut the wood and put this wood into this. What happens is that now slowly this cellulose comes out. Memorize, cellulose is a fibrous material. Cellulose is a fibrous material. Okay. So what does is that this sodium hydroxide, quite a good procedure goes on, and this converts this whole solution into a pulp like solution. Pulp means that squashy type material. Okay. Now what we do is that we pass out this material from acid. What happens is that this fiber gets solidified, and what we get is rayon. Very important, rayon. In rayon we use wood. So see, all of these are not using woods, but this one is using wood. It means there is need to cut plants for rayon. But rayon originally, chemically it is like cotton. Chemically it is like cotton, but by beautification and luster it is like silk. Very important, rayon is used in making sarees, blouses, socks. Most common use is saree and blouse. Okay, rayon. This was our first synthetic fiber. Now we will see nylon. These three are fully synthetic. These three are fully synthetic. Only rayon is such a synthetic fiber which is 50% natural. We can even call rayon as semi-synthetic material. Now we will see all these. First one is nylon. Dear students, very important. All the synthetic fibers and all the plastics are made up of petrochemicals. Very important. All the synthetic fibers and plastics or any synthetic material is mostly made up of petrochemicals. What does this mean is, the chemicals which are used in making all this stuff we get from petroleum. What is petroleum? That we will also be looking in the further chapters. Don't worry, next chapters. Nylon. It is made up of amide, and it is also called as polyamide. Very important, polyamide. The amide is the chemical. Very important. Nylon, amide, 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 amide. Lakhs and crores of amide, when joined together, they form nylon. All the synthetic fibers and plastic are polymers. I am telling you, all the synthetic material is made like this only. Repeated chemical units are joined and we get either a sheet or a fiber. Nylon. Nylon is polyamide. Very important. It is fully chemical material. Nylon. This is very strong. We have seen common uses of nylon. Whenever you go to market and ask any uncle, can I get rope? He will be giving you a bunch like this. He will be giving you a bunch of ropes like this of only 10 rupees. This is only our nylon. At our homes, we use this rope to dry up our clothes. You will be getting it in our balconies. Nylon, very much strong, durable, it exists a long time, it is lustrous, that is, it shines. Most important, along with being strong, it is very much cheap. बहुत सस्ता है. Not attacked by moths. Very important. All the synthetic fibers are not attacked by moths. What does this mean? If we are having any natural fiber at our home, many pests, many moths attack them. What happens is that those all things get after of being attacked by them, either that quality decreases or they make some holes in them. So after that they are of no use. For that protection we are using naphthalene balls. We keep naphthalene balls. Okay, but if you are having synthetic fibers of plastic at your place, no need to worry. They will not be attacked by moths. So very important, nylon, it is very strong. Most common use of nylon is that it is used in making ropes, tent ropes, and if you are going in parachute type stuff, you will be having nylon ropes. When you are doing hill climbing, all the ropes are made up of nylon. Very important, nylon is so much strong that if you take a nylon thread and a steel wire, both of same thickness, one is nylon, one is steel, ठीक है, same thickness, nylon thread is more stronger than this. Might be astonished, but this is the reality. How much useful these synthetic fibers are. See, after nylon, we will see polyester. Now we will see polyester. Polyester, very important. Polyester means repeated units of ester. And we get polyester. Very important. Polyester, this is a fiber which is even more and more stronger, more and more stronger than nylon. Polyester, strong, more strong than nylon. Polyester, durable. Most important, polyester is wear and tear resistant. That is, you can't easily cut or you can't easily wear or tear, or you will be not that much feasible to even make a hole inside this polyester. These are so much strong. If I say just cut off this my shirt, if this is wool or cotton, you can easily cut it off, but polyester you can't even cut. You need to use very much strong pair of scissors and lot of force need to be applied. Got it? So strong, durable, wear and tear resistance, cheap. Okay. The most common example of polyester is terylene. Polyesters are used in sail boats. Most common use. You might have seen many of the boats or yachts having a cloth. This cloth obviously need to be very much strong because a lot of force or pressure is being applied on it by the air, because of which it is moving the complete boat or ships. In ancient times, they even used to take the ships. Okay, so this sailboat material is made up of polyester. Okay, second thing, it does not rot in water. Does not rot in water means, as you can know, as you all know, see, water is continuously splashing on it, but it does not rot. Many other materials, our clothes and all the things get rotten up if you continuously keep it in water, but this thing does not get rotten even in water. So these are very very good use of polyester. It is used in conveyor belts. Okay, very special type of tire coats are also made up of polyesters. Now, one more common polyester is PET. Generally, polyester. ठीक है? PET means polyethylene terephthalate. Very important, dear students. Ethylene terephthalate units are continuously repeated units of ET. Ethylene terephthalate, ET. These things constitute of the polymer that is PET. Very important. PET is very much useful and we use a lot. You might have seen fizzy bottle drinks. Fizzy drinks, that is cold drinks, water bottle, all are coming in a plastic bottle that is transparent, yes or no? You can see Coca-Cola bottles. These are transparent, yes or no? These are made up of PET. Very important. These are strong. These are transparent. Very very important is that these are shatter free. What does this shatter free means? That you can shrink or crush them. You can shrink or crush them, but it will not shatter or tear off. Very important. See, glass is a plastic. We have seen glass jars, glass by which we drink water. If I make it fall down, it will fall and it will break or shatter off. This is a great loss of the plastic. Okay, but if that material is made up of PET, it is a synthetic fiber coming in the category of polyester. See, again I am telling, if synthetic fibers, or we are studying about polymers, it doesn't mean it is only used to make threads. It is used to make a large variety. Okay, so PET, it is transparent, strong and shatter free. Because of this, our all water drinking bottles we are taking na, 5 rupees bottle, 10 rupees bottle, Bisleri of 20, all of them are made up of PET. So okay, now we'll start one more topic, that is acrylic. Dear students, one very important thing is that polyesters are strong, all the synthetic fibers are strong. This is a common property. But what the thing is that if I fully wear a fabric of polyester, I will feel uneasy. So what they do is that they mix polyester with wool to get polywool. Polywool is a fabric which is having a sense or touch like wool, but a strength of polyester, and many times they mix it in cotton by which we get polycotton. See, this is a hybrid material having strength of synthetic fiber and a feel or easy touch of wool and cotton. Now we will see acrylic. This is very much like wool. Very much like wool. Okay. It is very much like wool, therefore it is used at the place of wool. Very important. It is shiny. It uses or absorbs less water as it absorbs less water, it is easy to dry. It is very much easy to dry. Now, what happens is that we use this acrylic mostly in wool related material, that is our gloves. Many times when we drive, sorry, we are on a long drive, use gloves. Okay, gloves are made up of this material. Sweaters are made from acrylic. Most important, acrylic is used in sports wear. We on Saturdays and Wednesdays, what that trousers and all the things we are wearing, those all the things are made up of sports wear, that is acrylic. Most important, these are wrinkle free. Whenever natural clothes, that is natural fiber clothes, are being washed, wrinkles, they generate wrinkles on them, and for removing those wrinkles we need to iron them. It means many more things need to be done on the natural fibers, but on synthetic fibers no need to worry. Whatever you want to do, squeeze it whatever way you want to dry it up, but they will never get wrinkles. So these all the things were of our synthetic fibers. Now see, overall these all synthetic fibers, this one is polyester, all the synthetic fibers are having advantages. What are these advantages? All the synthetic fibers are strong. Very good, that's why we use them. All the synthetic fibers are cheap, सस्ते हैं, easily available, and as we all know कि our Indian middle section always want things to be cheap and easily available. Most important, they are durable. Durable means many years they maintain their quality. If you does not maintain the natural fibers, then within a year or 2 year their quality will degrade, whereas nothing will happen to your synthetic fiber. They are easily durable, easy maintenance, absorbs less water. Absorbs less water. What does this mean? I will let you know. Take 2 buckets of water, fill them, both of them at the same level. Now take any natural fiber. Best one is take a jute, जिसको हम बोरा कहते हैं, jute fiber, and take any synthetic fiber. Same by volume. Dip it and take it out. You will see that this jute has absorbed most of the water. Dip this synthetic material, take it out. It uses or absorbs very less water. See, now jute has absorbs a lot of water. So washing jute materials needs more water, and washing synthetic material use less water. Moreover, as they are using less water, they are easy to dry. Easy to dry. Whereas our natural material will take a lot of time to get dry. See, these are few very common things which are being considered. That's why we are using synthetic fibers. They does not shrink. They does not shrink. Synthetic fibers, after washing, they are as they are. But if this is your natural fiber and after washing, you will observe that their size gets a bit less. That is, they get shrinked. Moreover, they also develop wrinkles, and we need to do a special process of ironing to remove these wrinkles. They does not develop wrinkles. That's why their maintenance is not that much tough. So all these are the uses of synthetic fibers. Now we need to see, are these synthetic fibers only and only useful? Don't they have any disadvantages? See, humans, whenever or whatever things are there, each and everything is having its own advantages and own disadvantages. So its disadvantages are, most important, these heat up. See, heat up, what does I mean to say is that when they heat up, even at very less temperatures, they start melting. You might have seen polythene material, even by not even touching the candles, just bringing candle near to it, it will start melting or it starts shrinking. So they heat up or melt easily, they very easily catch fire. So we need to be very attentive. If we are wearing any synthetic fiber or we are having any synthetic fiber, we just need to take care of them. Most important, cannot be weared in kitchen or should or must not be weared in kitchen. Why? Even if you are not in contact with fire, if you are nearby any fire, if this material burns, it will stick to your skin and which will cause a lot of damage to your skin. Moreover, if I am wearing a natural fiber, it catches fire, I can just take it off and throw. But if any synthetic fiber I am wearing, before I just throw it, all that material will melt and stick to my body and I can't remove that. Okay, so we need to be very careful regarding this. You must never wear synthetic fiber related fabrics in kitchen. Moreover, these must not be worn in summer, we must avoid them. The reason is why, in summers our body keep on sweating. If I am wearing any natural fiber, natural fibers have pores in them, air will enter, get in touch with my skin, make the sweat evaporate and my body will cool down. But if I am wearing any synthetic material, it will stick to my skin. My sweating will be there, but it will not be that much easily coming out of the skin. Why? That synthetic material stick to my pores of the skin. Okay. Second thing, synthetic fibers don't have holes, because of which air does not come in contact with my skin and the sweat does not evaporate, and sweat keeps on coming and my body keeps on feeling uneasy. If you are wearing synthetic fiber, just examine, just assume that you are fully wrapped up by polythene in the summer, so much uneasiness our body will feel. So in summers it's far better to wear natural fibers. Moreover, in the case of rain, we even need to cut trees. So these are the disadvantages of synthetic fibers. Now we will see plastics. Plastics, polythene, PVC, polyvinyl chloride, bakelite, melamine, Teflon. These all are plastics. See, again I am telling you, plastics are synthetic material which we are using in our daily life. Doesn't mean that this plastic being, see, this is also synthetic material. If it is synthetic, it means it is surely made up of many repeating units, means it is polymer. But it doesn't mean that this must be fiber only. We use it in a large variety also, like sheets and many things. Polythene, most common thing we use in our daily life. Polythene means poly plus ethene, that is repeating units of ethene. Repeating units of ethene, when joined together, they all form polythene. Dear students, I am telling you, even plastics are having two categories, that is thermoplastic and thermosetting plastics. We will see it in the last, but this bakelite and melamine are very much different from these. These are, even this one also, these are thermosetting. Means when we heat up these, very negligible effect is on them. But these are thermoplastic. That is, when we heat these plastics, they get melted. Okay, see, plastic. Two different uses. One plastic when heated, no effect. One plastic when heated, it melts. So which plastic to use at which place, it needs to be decided by its properties. Very very important. Plastics are insulators, means plastics does not allow heat and electricity to pass through them. Heat and electricity cannot pass plastic, all of the plastics. Okay, so very important. First one is polythene, that is repeated units of ethene makes polythene. Very simple. Polythene is very much flexible, that is you can easily mold it, turn it in any way. Yes or no? Second thing, it is used in packing, it is used in storing food, it is used in endless things. Polythene is used in endless things in our daily life. Whenever we go to market, either we have to go through this material. We'll bring veggies in this, okay? We'll be bringing any grocery in this polythene. Now we will see PVC. PVC, that is polyvinyl chloride. VC, vinyl chloride's repeated units makes PVC. PVC is flexible but not as much as flexible as polythene. Polythene is very much flexible. PVC is flexible but not as much as polythene. Very important. We all know plastics are insulators. So PVC mostly is used in what? This is our wire, copper wire, in which current is flowing. At our houses we have seen cables. These are being covered with green, black, red color plastic material. This material is only PVC. Why? If I hold this wire and even current is there, this current cannot pass and cannot touch my hand. Getting it? Why? Because it is an insulator. Very important. These polythene and PVC both are thermoplastic. These are thermosetting, means heating does not affect them. Very special and strange thing, but keep in mind, bakelite, melamine and Teflon are thermosetting. Heating does not affect them. But PVC and polythene, they are being affected by heating. You might have even seen many times that PVC wire is even burnt. You can find black ash over there. Okay. So PVC material is also used to make garden hoses. So these are general uses of polyvinyl chloride. Now very important, bakelite. This one, bakelite, melamine, Teflon. All these does not affected by heat, but this one is affected by heat. See, we are having both the types of plastics. Wherever you want to use which material needs to be decided by its properties. Very important. Bakelite is hard material. It is not like this PVC and polythene. Bakelite is hard material. It is not flexible. And we all know all the plastics are insulators. So where it is used, mostly cooking utensils are having handles. When we do cooking, as it is a conductor, it is made up of metal, this heat even gets transferred at this handle. So if I take this open handed, what will happen? My hand will burn. So what happens is that bakelite plastic is used here. You might have seen black color handles. This is nothing but bakelite. You know this material is strong, hard. Yes or no? We can easily handle this heavy cookers, and this bakelite is strong. It does not get melted by heat. That's why we are using it. Okay. Second thing, bakelite is used in the switch and sockets. Switch, sockets. You might have seen switch and sockets. They are also hard. They are not soft as polythene or PVC. So bakelite, as it is insulator, it does not allow electricity. See, it is not allowing electricity. We can very easily switch on and switch off. Okay. And second thing is, it does not allow heat to pass. Moreover, it is hard. It is not affected by heat. Got it? So these are common uses of bakelite. Melamine, it is also not affected by heat. Melamine, very important. Melamine is flexible, but it is not affected by heat. And very important, this is fire resistant material. It means it does not catches fire easily. Very important, these two materials catch fire very easily. When heated, they change their shape, they melt and catch fire very easily. Whereas bakelite, melamine, these are not catching fire very easily. See plastics variety. How much useful is this? These are fire resistant and flexible. So what happens is that the firemen working in our fire brigade and all, they all wear a special type of jacket on their bodies. This is made up of melamine. See, if I would have made this of bakelite, na, this would have been hard. They would have not been able to move. But it is, as it is flexible, so if they wear that jacket, they can very easily move. And secondly, even if fire is there, first of all, this heat will not cross this and come in contact with their bodies. Why? Because melamine is insulator. It will not allow heat to come here. Second thing is that it is fire resistance. Even this will not even catch fire at the high temperature. So their bodies are safe. Firemen uncles' bodies are safe. They can very easily do their work even in high temperatures. Okay, dear students. Now Teflon. See, melamine plastics material is, this one is the most common use. Melamine plastics are used in making utensils. You might have seen electric oven, microwave. For that we are using special type of plastics, cups and all. What happens is that this plastic cup does not heat up, does not get affected, but even that food gets heated up and gets cooked. But nothing happens to this material. Why? Because this plastic metal is made up of melamine. Okay, now we will see Teflon. Teflon, very important. Teflon is a non-sticky plastic. Non-sticky plastic means, if this is Teflon, if I throw ash on it, ash or dust on it, if I throw oil on it, see, just assume I am having a natural fiber and I throw oil on it, what will happen? That oil will come, this oil will be absorbed by my shirt and I will be having many issues to wash it. But if dust is thrown on Teflon, oil is thrown on Teflon, or any other metal is thrown on Teflon, what will happen is that this metal will automatically fall down, because this is non-sticky, nothing sticks to it. Very important, Teflon is used in the paints. You might have seen Asian paint, this paint, many different paints. That paint is having Teflon in it. So what will happen is that even if rain is there, dust particles are there, anything are there, this all will come in contact with this and fall down, because of which your walls will look new always. Your house will look as it is today itself painted. If other paints are being used, all this material will come here and stick to it, because of which our colors shine will fade off. Okay, but if you are using a Teflon paint, so its shine will not fade off. Moreover, many cooking utensils are having Teflon layer on it. You might have heard the name non-sticky tawa. Non-sticky tawa या फिर non-sticky oven. This is nothing but this is having a Teflon layer on it, because of which our material will not stick to the pen. Okay dear students, we have seen these things. See, plastic used in cooking, how astonishing it is. And another side, plastic even heated a bit, what happens is that it burns up. So why it is so? All the plastics are of two categories. First category is thermoplastic, and second category is thermosetting. What happens? This is also called thermosets. Very important. What does this word thermo means? Thermo means related to temperature. Okay. Polythene and PVC are thermoplastic, means when heated they melt up. Getting it? But bakelite, melamine and Teflon, when heated they don't melt up. Very important. What is the reason for that? See, we all know plastic, synthetic fibers, each and everything are made up of repeated units. It means they all are polymers. See, what happens in thermoplastic is that polymer chains are there. Let's take example of polythene. This is polythene. Ethene. These are two layers of chains. This is our first layer, this is our second layer. Okay, this is structure of polythene. And let us make structure of bakelite or melamine. This is polymer chain. This is a polymer chain. Okay, but very important, in bakelite, melamine and Teflon, these polymer chains are cross-linked. These all are connected to each other. But here in these plastics, these things are not cross-linked. These are cross-linked. It means, let me show you. In polythene and PVC, two different layers are here. But when we heat it up, these layers slide. When they slide, it means it is starting melting up. But what happens in thermosetting is that these cross-linked bonds creates a glue type bonding, because of which these layers don't move and this material is not changing its shape when heated. This material changes its shape. Why? Because this material flows. ये जो chain है ये ऐसे फिसल जाएगी, आगे पीछे हो सकते. These can move back and forward, because of which they melt up. But in this, these two chains don't move, and all the material as it is, it remains in that structure only. This structure changes, they melt up. Their structure does not changes, it does not melt. Very important. Polythene and PVC when heated melts up, and I can again give them any shape and use it. So very important. Thermoplastics are recycled material. Recycled, they can be recycled again and again. But thermosetting cannot be recycled again and again. Very important. Thermosetting plastics cannot be recycled again and again. Okay. So very important thing. We studied plastics. Now uses of plastics. See my dear friends, the things which we are using. Now we need to see the properties. Uses of plastic. Very important. Plastic is very cheap. Most important, it is very much durable. Very important. Durable means for years and years nothing will happen to it. It is chemically unreactive. Nothing, no chemicals affected too much. As you might have seen in chemistry labs, those acids and bases, strong acids and bases are stored in glass. That glass is plastic only, synthetic material, but that acid and base is not able to affect this material. If I would have kept it in metal containers, iron and all, they would have corroded it. No corrosion. Very important, not biodegradable means my plastic will not be affected by microorganisms, so no need to worry. My natural materials, natural fibers are affected by microorganisms means you can see in rainy season many times our natural fibers starts getting fungus layer on them, and if not treated well, this fungus will fully degrade its value, whereas our plastic material is not affected. Very important, plastic is very much light. Okay, plastic is very easy to wash. These all are very useful things which is making us to use plastic. Okay, now very important, durable, chemically unreactive, no corrosion, not biodegradable. Plastic when in use it is very much useful, but plastic when not in use and when it converts into waste, it is really very much great headache to human existence and environment. First of all, understand the thing, biodegradable, non biodegradable. Okay, biodegradable material, what does it mean? If any material is natural material and if I keep it as it is, automatically microorganism will work on it. We have done in the second chapter, that is cleaning of environment. They will degrade it, that is they will decompose it, and our material will get vanished, whatever it may be, mixing in soil or whatever. But if we are having non biodegradable material, that is our best example is synthetic material, that on that microorganisms cannot work. We are continuously saying that synthetic fibers are durable, means they are as such and keeps on maintaining their quality many years. It means they are not affected by microorganisms. Okay. As of now, I am using any synthetic material. Very much useful. Why? It is durable, not affected by microorganisms. But it does not mean my whole life it will be in use. The day it will be not in use, it will get converted into waste, and question starts here, once it's become waste, what to do of it? Why? If it would have been natural thing, I would have thrown it in field, I would have used it in garden, because they would have given nutrients to it. But this is of no use now. Here it is boon. Plastic, see, our life cannot be even thought of without this plastic. But when this become waste, now the same properties, that is, it does not get corrode, it does not get decomposed, it is durable. These same things are now very risky for me. If I throw this waste, nothing will happen to it, it is durable. So what to do? Very important, plastic when in use very useful, but when it becomes waste, the question arises how to manage this waste. See, plastic is nothing. Plastic is very great thing which scientists have discovered. But the thing is human irresponsibility. Humans are quite in enjoyable form, just taking the benefits of plastic. But when it comes to the management of waste, human irresponsibility is there, and this human irresponsibility creates a great hazard to our environment. Why? Waste, if you will throw plastic waste here and there, it will not degrade, years and years it will be there. Second thing, it will block our drainage system or sewage system, because of which our sewage pipeline will get choked and the water will come out and unhygienic conditions will be created. Animals eat up this material, because of which their digestive systems and respiratory systems get affected and they die. Moreover, even we can't burn them. If you burn them, then also many poisonous gases are emitted. Obviously, so these things cannot be done. We need to be very much responsible. Responsible use along with responsible waste management. What we can do is that we can use 3 R's. What are the 3 R's? Reduce the use of plastic. Don't use plastic too much. Use only as much required. Means I am going to any shop. I am telling uncle, okay, give me a milk packet. He is giving milk packet. Now he is giving a plastic and putting in it. I say no. I'll just keep this milk in my hand and I will go. So you reduce. If you don't use it, no need to use any plastic material. Second thing is reuse. If you are having any polythene plastic material at your home, whenever you go market, use it again. Next day, use it again. But it doesn't mean that whole life you can use it. One day for sure it will be not in use. So throw it in dustbin. Don't throw it in open. When you throw it in dustbin, it will go to the dump yards and from there it will be sent to factories to get recycled. It will get recycled and again you can use it. So these are 3 R's which are very important to be followed. Most important thing is that, see, we all need to be responsible. If we are responsible, no need to worry. If we are irresponsible, our synthetic fibers which are using a lot will be a hazard for us, not only for us but for the whole environment. Most important, as we all are studying, we all need to now look upon the alternatives of plastic. We need to now discover or invent few new materials, okay, which are as much as useful as plastic but can be degraded easily. And moreover, alternatives means instead of plastic, you can use paper bags, you can use cloth bags.